InShalla and Ashe. Blessings to you once again, my energetic beings, and Hala. Welcome back to today's daily snippet. I am your host. I'm a practicing holistic shaman and medium, and subtle energetic surgeon, merging these indigenous technologies, the ways and the wisdom of spirit within the Dagara tribe, Burkina Faso, my mentor, elder, and friend, Meladoma, with subtle energies, elements, elemental beings, from the elemental realm into the imaginal realm with offerings, rituals, and prescriptions to really add to our personal juice, the container. But my intention really is truly to merge these wisdoms of these indigenous ways, these technologies with the subtle realms and the etheric highway, just assisting you to navigating your inner genius, your prime directive, just really reintroducing you to the magical being that resides within each and every one of us. My name is Tanya D, and welcome to my virtual medicine room. So being that the cosmic energy is between the realms during the day, and we're going to be mindful of our inner peace and being connected to spirit as we open the door to receive through the channel of our heart, our higher energetic centers, our subtle feelers and sensors are really open to all of the juice today, grounding it all down into and through the root center. And the moon herself, the goddess, she's in the season of Gemini. Gemini is our mind, it's our attitude, two sides of the coin, being intuitive or logical. So I would say it's from the first center, Aries, to the third center, to the fifth, to the seventh. So we've got grounding, we've got our will center or our administration channel, to the authentic voice, our verbal intuition, to our crown, our spiritual acumen, that connection. So we've got a pretty saucy day. So did you feel through the cosmic messages of yesterday, finding your balance, your abundance, and your wisdom, the serious initiation with all of that? If you haven't already, please do be kind and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Tanya D, and hit the bell button so you are notified. And also, if you don't mind liking the videos, sharing, commenting, so that YouTube algorithm will echo me out and suggest me to like-minded musers in the galactic universe and other social media channels like TikTok, Instagram, and my podcast, Musing with Tanya D. So I just shared my most recent podcast in a few reels out there on the highway. Archangel Ariel, the nature angel. You know, I generally share on the daily a message, an element, the cosmic highway. But if you are looking to go deeper than my daily snippet, may I possibly recommend or offer, dun, 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 dun. I have offerings, my personal offerings at club.tanyad.tv, inviting you into the elemental realm, the energy bodies, changing your stars, uncovering secrets of the other world, or just being called for a one-on-one session, whatever that looks like. All those details are in the show notes. But for the rest of the season, or I should say the season of April, I'm doing the energy body demystified at a offering of a savings for each and every one of you that are tuning in. I'm super excited about that. It's one of my favorites. But the details again are in the show notes. And for now, I kind of want to dive into the messages of the day because we are in the midst of the season of Aries. So things are in process. Things are moving towards a future path. But today really is a day to take a rest, take a pause, enjoy some tea, cuddle in if you're in Utah because we've got some more snow. We've got wet snow flurries. Swear to God, we go from 80 to below zero sometimes in the afternoon. But we are really in the bounty of receiving some insight from the realm of spirit. And spirit can be many things, many forms, elementals, angels, source, gods, goddesses, Freya, Odin, etc. So the list is like really never ending. But we are in what may feel like an opposing force field where we've got the Jedi Knight or Yoda. So it's kind of time to take the space, take the time to be in our heart space, our channel, our prime directive. So it's like, who are we? What is it that we are able to be at peace with or forgive ourselves with on the day-to-day? And what gives us that magical peace of mind? So it really is a magical idea to sit with spirit and observe. What is it that brings us peace, joy, happiness, love, etc.? Freedom too, right? All the juicy things to maybe go on a journey of discovering ourselves and our future path, what that looks like, and just knowing that our heart's desires are always the path of the soul, the dreams, the wishes of our soul. It's our prime directive, it's our asset, the spirit that resides within us. So it's just aspects of ourselves are usually fighting for the path that the soul wishes to go on. And if that is the case, those are like the forces of adversity. Those are the obstacles that are in the way, keeping our desires kind of on the shelf or on the shore. So those heartfelt frequencies, it's keeping them from coming into fruition. And knowing that this is the corridor that we are currently threading through, today I'm actually calling in the seers, the light seers. So any light beings out there tuning in to my show, the light. But first up we have the message from the Six of Cups, which I love this, and I also find it interesting because our day actually is a 6-day going into a 7-day. So this is receiving those messages from spirit through our emotional channel, the cups, and even being that Gemini is in, or the moon is in Gemini, that also is messages in general, right? The logical and the intuitive. So this may be reconnecting with people from our past, our harmonics, different themes of our life, going from our inner child to our future self, or from our future self back to our inner child. So you might be experiencing just that, nostalgia, you know, feeling triggered by those old memories. But it's time to really forgive ourselves, to just by releasing any residual guilt that we might still be carrying from past relationships, trauma, any previous actions or lifetimes, really just accepting our humanness and stop moaning over the decisions that we've made up until this moment. So memories are really a profound tool for processing our lessons and healing. So who we were can highlight how far we've actually come, and that growth can shine beauty on where we are headed next. So time really is an essence. It's a beautiful thing. And contemplating the needs of our inner child and listen to the advice from our future self. So sometimes the message here could be quite literal, that someone from our past is going to re-enter our life to heal those threadings, or that it's a perfect moment to reconnect with those kindred spirits or to reminisce. So when we connect with all the moments within our timeline, we truly find our innate wholeness. So it's like being at peace with our past. It's brought us to where we are actually meant to be. So this to me, it's that reflection, taking the pause, the breath, sipping some tea, meditating, curling up in front of a fire, which I'm probably going to build one because my house is freaking cold. Building a fire, you know, if you're in Utah, to warm the hearth, the home, the heart. So yeah, all of those things. So yes, it's super, believe it or I do have the heat on. It's a situation. However, our next message is from the 8 of Cups. So 8 is like infinity and beyond. We're still in this emotional threading. So it's like the moon, being mindful of that Gemini moon today, kind of feeling into that. But the 8 is also committing to a feeling, committing to our emotions. And the 8 of Cups is also letting go, releasing that which is no longer serving us. A ritual of releasing. It's a time to move from that stuck energy, just literally walking away, leaving our old reality to pursue a new one. So she literally has just released her last cup into the sea. This is like a bowl burning ceremony. If you've ever done a fire ceremony with a bowl, it's over. So it's like, is it time to walk away from something in our lives? Just choosing our sacred dream, especially when we're feeling disappointed. That is one of the biggest acts of self-love that we can enact when we really take that very first baby step. We begin to choose ourselves first. And there really is nothing more healing, more powerful, finding our innate resolve and just releasing, untethering any anchors that are really holding us back. Through our disillusioned heart, you know, it might require that TLC where we can realign our path by sharing those outgrown expectations, hopes, people, ideas, beliefs, guilt, or just even ways of being authentically. So if you find yourself exhausted, confused, or jumping from thing to thing, thought to thought, know that you are entering a mystical period of intense shifting, that releasing those old stories will really assist you to travel lightly go in the direction of epic dreams, happiness, and greater meaning. Just choosing, I choose. I walk away from negativity and I choose myself in this, maybe it might appear radical or rebellious, an act of self-love, actually. Those kinds of things. So we are releasing today, and it's very, it's the emotional field, right? And then we have, dun, 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 the Page of Pentacles, which I love. The Pentacles are the earth, right? The earth herself, the majesty, Gaia, just manifesting new opportunities. However, this one is otherworldly. So this is also the magic of the earth, or bringing earth magic to the realms of the earth, or making our plans a reality. But otherworldly, we might feel a little procrastination, not bringing those plans down to earth from the heavens, or maybe we feel like our progress is lacking somewhere. So she's holding this mandala. She's got this curious heart. Her roots are in the bedrock, the stones. They have begun to understand the manifesting essence that we all hold within ourselves. So remember when we thought, or we hoped we could be an astronaut, stargazer, definitely, or even a hitchhiker to our own personal galaxy? It really is the time. The gates are open to go ahead and grounding that energy from the other realms into this realm before it dissipates. This is otherworldly, right? So this is like activating practical magic and doing that with our own hopes. And we pull this energy down from the heavens because the message is otherworldly. So bringing them to the earth into a new form. So that's when our progress happens. It's like one life stage at a time, those baby steps. And we need to anchor those into the details while simultaneously keeping our head into the earth, grounding into the elementals. My preference, bringing those clouds to the dream, or the dream from the clouds, I should say, into this reality. So there are many pieces that still need to like fall into alignment, the spinnings of the wheels, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to arrive. We are in a perfect place to figure out how to make our prosperity a reality, like seeking confidence, being dependable, and just remembering that we really each hold this innate power. No matter where we stand today, the ground is stable. New perspectives, maybe an upgrade of consciousness, all these things are on their way. So really utilizing our plans for the future and expedite that arrival, and knowing that we can also be practical, we can be realistic, but still run ahead to meet those dreams, those futuristic dreams, and be open to our emotional channel, listening to the earth and the heavens, the future. It kind of feels like the Marvel characters today, just opening our heart, taking the path of least resistance and weighing in with our heartfelt desires, those options, whatever they look like, and allowing our heart to be the judge. It kind of is a day to restore balance to all of the things. So the energy really is one of opening our heart to receive, to cuddle up with the love of your life. Sir Didymus, are you listening? He's over there at my feet. Our relating frequency, all of this is in motion. It's dynamic. It's not static. So it really is a magical day to propose a change instead of a toast, instigating that change. And look at that on the elemental highway as well, What's curious about the elemental highway today? Super galactic juicy. Not only do we have the energy of the day shifted, but we also have a new energy of the month. Super juicy. So we have a young wood dragon month, a Yaya Chen, and we have a young earth rat of a day, a Wu Z. So we have young earth, lots of young earth, born in the dragon month, which actually represents the end of the spring. When the earth is wet, that's the most dominant element, even though it's still spring. During the dragon month, young earth is actually the most dominating element. So our young earth day, the main element on the day, is very strong. So when young earth is strong, yang wood is the most needed element to keep earth under control, which we've got that. We have yang wood on the month, and we also have it on the year, the tiger, keeping our energies under control. It's loosening it up. But yin water is also necessary to bring moisture to the earth. Metal element in combination with water creates a well-balanced day, just making earth moist and kind of fertile, which we need that in the spring. So without water, which we do have yang water, but this main element is going to have difficulties prospering in life, the frequency of today. So yang fire, the sun, that's also needed. Our day's pretty cold, right? So to bring warmth to our day, yang metal is also needed when the wood element is overwhelming, which, I mean, they're both strong, but yang earth is represented by a massive solid rock, a genie, a mountain. So these people, they're steady, they're reliable, and our month is going to carry the same frequency. So even though I'm talking about the day, our month is going to actually have this as well. It's like, who can we call on always or count on to be there? And mountains are not easy to move. Their main qualities are stability, support, and given how hard it is to move these people, they do become complacent, which makes things kind of procrastination, one of the greatest enemies, right? Procrastination or pessimism, unless there are strong external forces, which will make them, as they are, kind of represented as the mountain, which we have the mountain. We've got a lot of water too, right? But they're strong, they're slow in creating decisions, they take their time. And being that the dragon is also yang earth, dragons also have this. They are like big mountains, like hibernating at the moment, a mountain. If you've ever looked at a mountain and saw the shape of a dragon in a big mountain, super cool. But everybody loves to tell their secrets to the mountain. They really don't like sharing their own. So often a yang earth day or a person may seem very mystical, like the dragon that we have. However, once they get to know somebody, that's when they become like chatty catties. They open up. They become rather fun in their conversation. They change their minds. It actually kind of drives people around them a little bit crazy, but they're independent and they generate their own frequency, their own talents. They love to do things on their own. They're a mountain. So they take their time laying that groundwork, that foundation. So as much as that is a good thing, it can also kind of backfire because these people do tend to procrastinate. They can also be stubborn about things as well, but they can actually achieve success on their own, whatever that looks like. So they don't need nurturing from others. Again, they are a mountain. They often don't offer it to others anyway. Again, it's the mountain. So it does not go to the people. People go to the mountain. So that's why Yang Earth doesn't need anybody to develop their talents, their innate talents. They're highly capable to do that on their own. A mountain is really self-sufficient. Everything a mountain needs is already there as long as they don't have to rely on others, right? They're emotionally stable and they really strive at whatever they decide to do, sticking to their own personal moral code, their quest, like a dragon, their quest to do what's right. That kind of is what's necessary for all of the decisions that they actually make. So integrity, one of my favorite words, makes up most of their frequency. So they tend to second guess their own decisions at times, I guess, in their quest to choose the right thing. So they do make mistakes, but they're also governed by other people's opinions because they inspire trust. They put others first to extend that they would rather change their own ways when other people find it difficult to adapt to the mountain to find what they want. So they're kind of excessively sensitive to the perception of other people, which oftentimes makes them weak. So they're kind of prone to making those rash decisions since emotions rule them in that decision-making arena. And also Yang Earth produces mineral metal, which is decision-making. That's kind of the frequency that will bring our day to balance, actually. But they also tend to be stubborn, logical, because they don't see reason as a top priority. So it's kind of engaged or coupled with their fineness of contemplation. So big earth, a mountain. They also value perception more than anything else. They are a mountain, so it's this mountaintop perspective. So they act based on their gut instinct, feelings, being a perfectionist. So they often go around in circles, which just leads to more procrastination. However, what's awesome is they gain strength from their families, their relationships. So family, the family dynamic is very important to them. and they get great support from their parents and their siblings. And in doing so, they can take on the world. So our day, our month, having yang energy as well, the dragon, our day is supported. So that would be sibling support because it's the same energy as our earth, our yang earth as well. So even if other parts of their lives aren't really doing so well, they can literally find peace within the family. They will be fine. So besides family, their love relationships, that's another thing. This is also where they find their peace, they find their purpose. So if the family and love are supportive, they're going to be inspired because their support comes from fire. That's inspiration, that's charisma, emotionally prepared for any challenges in life. So this energy is actually strongest during the summer and weak mostly in other seasons. So if it's weak, that yang fire, that's the energy that's needed for support. When it's strong, which our day is because of the month shifting, yang earth prefers yang wood, which we have, a forest, and yin water, which is the rivers. We've got yang water, so that's like a thunderstorm, like buckets of water or a big mountainous stream or a waterfall. That's more yang energy. But our day prefers the yin water. We've got the forest. So those are the elements they need to balance them. So these people can be like volcanoes. So they hold their emotions deep down. And when these emotions bubble up, they explode and they surprise everyone around them. So they really need their space. They need their pace. So you kind of have to find a good way to deal with them, but mostly on an emotional level because nothing else will work. So once they have these conditions and the support met, they can be highly creative, very successful. They're very persistent, they're trustworthy, they're down to earth, they're kind, reliable, stable, centered, earth-centered. So people like Robert Downey Jr. has this Daymaster, both Victoria and David Beckham, Ben Affleck in pink, just to name a few. But knowing that we have a wood, a yang wood of a dragon month, the mountain is online for the next 30 days. So that energy, taking the message to the mountain, might be a ritual for us to do over the next 30 days. Go speak to the mountain, the rivers, the old trees, if you will. And we do have an old wise tree there as well. So the month is still a freshie. I would use fire as an element to ground into today. Maybe create a fire in your home, if you do have a fireplace, that is. Hope for the sun to come beaming out. I would say I'm hoping for that. Go wish on a star, the star that we each are. And metal might also be a great element, or mineral, a stone. So if that speaks to you, the wisdom that it carries within our bones, I'm kind of going down the rabbit hole, but that's stones, right? I would say mineral to bring the performance, creating the decisions, being a leader, taking that energy from earth and creating metal, which then does the water, etc., etc. So it gets us in the flow. So that really might be the energy over the next 30 days. Leadership, movement, transition, stability. So the sounds are actually in the show notes, or do something with a physical item as well. But being that our throat center is online, I would actually do the sounds, something in the physical as well. So I would start with the lam, the ram, the hom, and the ong. So that's like the first, the third, the fifth, and the seventh. Seed sounds for energetic centers, just opening up those channels to our highest elevated good, futuristic self, and bringing those down as well. And be in a space of peace. And if peace isn't coming your way, flick everything else away. There's no need to disrupt the force and smile and just walk away. But I would affirm that I am going to be like a bubbling spring, that's yin water, rising fresh from the mountain, flowing in through no resistance to my inner peace, if that makes sense. So be like the mountain, even talk to the mountain. I think that would be an optimistic, great idea, is to go speak to a mountain. But with all of that, InShalla and Ashe, thanks for tuning in today, and make it a dragon kind of a day. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, I'll see you on the other side. Ashe.